So, welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Chat with Dan here. Joining me today, what can I say? We have on the show the incredible, the amazing, the badass, superstar, the legendary, the one and only, the incredible Katie. How are you today?
I'm so good. How are you, Dan?
What better way to have an incredible, super badass Tuesday than to be chatting with someone as badass as you? You know what I mean?
Well, thank you. I've never been called a badass before, so I'll take
There you
it.
go. Absolutely. Perfect way to start the day. What can I say?
Truly.
Right. Now, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, follow. It helps a lot. But also in the description below, you're going to find all of Katie's social media. Let's follow her and let's find out why she's super badass. And without further more, let's jump in. So, I want to start this whole conversation by going out with the first question, right? Now, for that one, let's go back in time and tell me where this whole journey started. Was there a performance, movie, something that sparked the whole thing to make you realize, you know what? I'm going to start this path from now on.
Yes, there was a moment. I did a lot of camps growing up. So I was 10 years old. My mom put me in a ton of camps all through summer. Like I would do a soccer camp and a tennis camp, and I had a lot of energy, was a very loud kid. And so she put me in an acting camp. And I remember at the time not wanting to do it because the friend that I was going with, we were kind of on the outs, I guess like a 10-year-old fight. And so I was like, I don't want to do any more, mom. And she was like, sucks. We already paid for it. You're going. And day one, I remember having literally the most fun I'd ever had in my life. We played improv games. I made everybody laugh. We did like a singing portion where like we all had to audition to be the lead of the show we were going to do at the end. And I opened my mouth to sing and like it actually sounded good. And I just had never, we grew up in a very sports centered family. And so I had never had the like artistic like path, placed in front of me. I'd never tried it before. And at the end of the camp, after a week, the instructor pulled me and another girl aside and told our parents, like, you need to train. These two kids need to be doing this forever. And it was the first time in my life that something had kind of come naturally to me. And it was the first time that I felt like, oh, soccer isn't it for me. Basketball isn't it for me. Like, this is what I love doing. And I would have been just trying to like do what my siblings had done up until that point. And I think it was clear to everybody, like, oh, she should be here. I was also like the most loud, obnoxious kid ever. So I really needed to be on stage to just get all of that out.
Perfect
As I
way to
started
start.
training after that, I just kept going.
There you go. And so
Yeah.
you started to make it happen, right? You went to training, start to make your first gigs in there. But tell me, what were some of those first challenges that you encounter as you were entering into a pro career, let's say?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you start in like local theater, you kind of, it's just all like your friends and you're having fun. And it's not until you start to like look into it professionally that you're like, oh, this is not just all fun and like doing show after show with your friends. Like, this is a very tough industry that you're breaking into. And there's also so many more things to it than just like doing Shrek the musical. There's like, all these different ways that you can go into this industry and just different forms of acting, and really made me realize as I was like trying to decide what I want to do at 18 and whatever, like I need to train hard to do this because I want to be able to do whatever is thrown at me. And I think that that was the challenge of like I need to train so hard and also learn so much because there's so much more to the industry than just my local theater. And so I think that that's still as an adult been what I struggle with is like there's so much to learn and there's no clear way to find success, and there's still so much to train and to figure out. So it's just a day by day, just like learn as you go kind of job, and it's tough.
What were some of the stereotypes that you had to deal either with your friends, family, right? Because it's interesting that even till this day, you're still having this type of idea, right? When you want to pursue arts. So in this case, how was for you and how did you overcome that in order to not let yourself being affected by that?
I mean, I got lucky that my parents have been so supportive since day one. Like anytime I've thought I think I want to quit, they're like, no, 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 you're not quitting. Like they have my back. But I, at 18, was a waitress and I would go to every table and they'd be like, oh, you're graduating. Where are you going? And I'd be like, oh, I'm going to go to theater school. And their faces would just fall. And it would be like, oh, what are you going to do with that? And it was really tough to feel that way going into what I thought was my career. And I really questioned myself a lot whenever that would happen. But coming out to LA, it's been really cool because everybody kind of knows the industry or people don't see it that way. But still, I do face that a lot when I go home or like meet new people that are not in the industry of like, oh, so like, oh, you want to be an actor, but what's your real job? Or like, what's your side job? And I just always say, like, no, 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 I'm an actor. And that's that. And I just try not to let it affect me as much as I think I used to in the past because whether you've booked something or not, you're still an actor.
When you strip away genres, projects, and expectations, who you are at your core.
It's a great question. Yeah, I think that a lot of the times actors, we define ourselves as an actor. Maybe like I just said 2 seconds ago of like if you're an actor, you're an actor. But I do think that if it all went away and you just stripped that away, I just want to experience all that life has to offer. Like I'm very much a fun, free, silly spirit. And why I love acting in the arts is because I get to pursue that. I get to put on different roles and wear different hats and experience different things. But if that all went away, I'd still want to do that just in a different form. I just want to see the world and feel everything that I could feel. Like I just want to like enjoy life and experience all that life has to offer. So that's kind of who I am. I'm a creative, I'm an empath. I'm so just like restless of like I just want to see the world and experience all that there is.
And early in your acting journey, what did you believe your worth was tied to?
Growing up not here, I grew up in Redmond, Washington. I saw people on TV and I didn't think I fit that model. So I always have tied, or at least until recently, I feel like I tied a lot of my worth to what I looked like all day long. And I thought, oh, if I didn't book this role, it was because of the way that I looked. And I think I'm finally getting out of that mindset and realizing that, like, that's not necessarily the case. And that's not how I want to go about my life. Like, I want to know my worth and know my beauty and not think that that has anything to do with whether or not I book something. And if it does, then I don't really want to be a part of that project anyway. I think that as an adult, I've just had to like find comfort in my own skin because I did grow up watching people on TV that I felt like were these model types, and that's just not me. And I love now that we're kind of moving in a way in the industry where I'm seeing a lot more of me on screen and I'm seeing a lot more diversity. And I just feel like there's not like a cookie cutter actor mold anymore, or at least we're moving away from that. But I think growing up and like as I entered this industry, I was just like so worried about my body image all the time. And I felt like my beauty was not enough until, I had to force myself to realize that it is.
When all of those expectations, yeah, when all of those things, moments, expectations hit you, how did that impacted you emotionally?
I think a lot of this career is just you have to try to detach your self-worth to a yes or a no. You have to find the confidence in yourself and the love of in yourself and not need the validation of like getting the role to feel enough. And that's something that I've really struggled with and something that I think that I finally have gotten to a place where I'm like, if I get a no, I no longer allow myself to jump to, oh, it was because you look this way or because of X, Y, and Z. I just remind myself like the right role is going to go to the right person and try to detach my worth because yeah, it's hard as an actor to get no after no after no and you start to question like, oh, is it because of this? Is it because of that? And half of this job is just finding your worth outside of it.
And how did financially uncertainty shape your mindset during the early stages of your acting career?
It was very tough to navigate. How do I do this job and afford my rent and do all this and live my life? It's it took me a really long time. Like I've been out here now for 4 years, and I think I finally now have an idea of how to conduct myself through LA and work jobs that are flexible enough where if I book something, I can fly out tomorrow and film it but also are secure enough that I can work and pay my bills. It just takes a lot of trial and error to find the right fit of jobs that work for you. But financial instability is really a tough piece of the job. And I think for me, what I do is I just work really, 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 really hard so that I can do what I love. I think of every job that I work as like, oh, this is to fund my acting class or to fund my dream. And that gives me like drive to continue to find work and to keep going. Yeah, so I just work my ass off.
And that is why you're badass. What can I say?
Thank you.
There you go. Since the beginning, I was having this vibe like, okay, I'm starting to understand why she's badass. But now like, I'm kind of understanding it more like, I see it. I see it now.
Mhm. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Totally. And was there a moment when things looked successful from the outside, but felt quite heavy on the inside?
Yes, I booked my first Netflix co-star in 2024. I filmed it and it was the best day of my life. It was amazing. And it looked like such a success to everybody on the outside, but on the inside, I kind of had a feeling that they were going to cut the scene. It just the way that they shot it, it was rushed a little bit. And when it did come out, it did get cut. And so on the outside, it looks like a success, and everybody was still like, you did it, and it was amazing. And I felt like it was a success because I don't perform to get the validation of like, look, you're on TV. I perform because I love it, and I had the best day. But it was also really heavy because a lot of this industry when you're first starting out is what do you have on your resume? What do you have on your reel? And now I didn't have any footage. I didn't have anything to show for it. I can say all day long that I was on a Netflix show, but I wasn't. So it almost felt like this heaviness of like, did it even happen if you don't have proof of it? And that was really tough for me. And it still is heavy to this day to be like, I feel like I almost can't talk about it because I'm like, but it didn't happen. So is it a win? So that's been like a weird thing to be like, I did do this, but you can't see it.
And tell me, what rejection or moment in your acting journey forced you to confront yourself the most?
Yeah, last January, I got dropped by my previous manager. And I got a call like from him that was just basically like, "Hey, you're not booking a lot, and I think I'm gonna move forward." And that just made me feel like I'm such a failure. Like this person that believed in me once, who I've been with for 2 years, who I felt like I had a really great relationship with, didn't see me seriously. And it just felt like a huge like punch in the gut. And I honestly, right after that, started applying for jobs that weren't acting jobs. I was like, I'm gonna take a full time job and just like recoup, and then I'll come back to it when I feel ready. But I had two paths in front of me at that time. I was like, either you can let this person be right and you can fail, and then they get to look back and be like, yeah, that was a good decision because she didn't have the chops anyway or the drive anyway. Or you can end up on TV and tell this story and be like, look at me now. And so I chose that option. And even though it was really tough and I had to pull myself out of this like headspace of like, you're not good enough. Nobody wants you. Nobody wants to hire you. All these things that your brain is telling you when you get that kind of rejection. I just had to like push through it, push through the storm. And I got signed by a new manager and it all worked out. And I kept going, even though it was really tough.
And going to our halftime show, quick speed round questions, yes, no, or pass. Super simple. Gonna ask a couple of questions in which you can only answer yes, no, or pass. You ready? Have you ever waited weeks for an answer that took seconds to say no?
No.
Have you memorized scenes that never made it past the audition room?
Yes.
Have you ever been told you were perfect, but still not right?
Yes.
Have you learned to live with uncertainty better than most people you know?
Yes.
Have you celebrated a win that looked very small to everyone else?
Yes.
Have you questioned your entire path while still loving the craft?
Yes.
Have you learned to separate rejection from self-worth?
Yes.
Do you think actors develop patience faster than most people?
No.
Has acting taught you more about yourself than success did?
Yes.
And do you believe this journey has made you stronger in quiet ways?
Yes.
And a bonus question, can you cry on cue?
Yes.
There you go. Fantastic. Now, returning to our general transmission, tell me, what do you think is the biggest misconception that people have about actors in general?
I think that we're all like auditioning all the time, or like we're all like super close to like the room. I think that right now where the industry is at, like the biggest misconception that I face is that like I'm auditioning a lot more than I am. And I'm at this point like we as newbie actors are getting less and less auditions because a lot of the industry is moving out of LA and a lot of bigger actors aren't working as much either. And so the pool of actors is just so dense and it's hard to break through. And so I think the misconception is that like you move to LA, you get an agent and you start auditioning. Or at least that's like how I saw it. And it's instead of that, it's like you're waiting through like the thickest pool of people and it's like not as clear as it used to be. So maybe that, or that we're all very loud and obnoxious. I was as a kid, but now I think I'm just a normal person who loves to cry on cue.
You know, you're a badass person who loves to cry on cue. There you go.
Thank you. I'm going to rebrand myself.
I'll take it. Sounds like a plan to me. Even till this day, tell me, what inner battle do you still face today that people might not see?
I think that I'm a very restless person. I work so much because I just want to be on set, that when I'm not on set and I'm not creating, I feel like jittery and antsy. And so the days where I'm not working, I have no ability to relax. I see every single day as like another day to move my career forward, to get closer to my goals. And so I just work, 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 and struggle with the days off because I'm so restless to get to the place in my career that I want to be at, that it's hard for me to sit in the silence and sit in the realization that, like, oh, I'm not there yet. And so I think that that's something that a lot of actors face, of knowing that, like, this isn't permanent. This apartment, this place in my life is not permanent, because I could book something tomorrow and everything could change. So I kind of have to be ready to up and move and up and do this crazy life shift. So I'm a little bit restless for that to happen and always ready. My body's always ready to like jump into action, which is like a hard place to live.
Tell me, what do you think your 12-year-old version of yourself would think about you right now?
She would think I'm a badass. Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking about this the other day and I was like, I am that kind of person that, gets to the top of the mountain and then sees the next mountain across the way that's taller and is like, how do I get to that one? And I don't enjoy the view from like the top of the mountain that I'm on. And right now I'm like, I really need to stop doing that and focus on the fact that I have done amazing projects. I've met amazing people. I audition for great things every day. I'm living, honestly, the dream life that I never could have imagined for myself at 12 years old. So, yeah, she
There
thinks
you
she's a
go.
badass.
Perfect. And as your definition of success has evolved, what matters more now than just booking the role?
I think just finding the joy in it. Like, I think that booking the role can be just a job. You can see it as like, I just want to get that job. I just want to get that job. But like, people who love what they do are so lucky. Like, aren't we lucky to love what we do? And I don't want to lose that ever. So I think finding the joy in every character I play, and also not letting the nerves take over, not letting what people think about me take over, just literally enjoying what I do every day. And if I find that I book that role and I'm not enjoying myself, then questioning, okay, is this the right career for me? Was this the right role for me? And really just like making sure that I find the joy in what I'm doing and the passion in what I'm doing. Because if that ever goes away, then I don't know, what I'm doing there. So I think that that's the most important thing over like booking it.
And if acting disappeared tomorrow, what part of you would still remain?
I think I'd be the same person. I just would find another avenue for my creativity. I'm a writer. I love to write, so I would probably use the pent up like emotions and empathic energy that I have and like the way that I see the world and put it into that. But even if you just take like career out of it and just think like, if the industry was gone, or like what do I do without creating? I think just I would try my darndest to listen to other people's stories and explore the world and see as much as I can see and feel as much as I can feel, and just make sure that I continue to live for that piece of myself that loves to explore new things. And I don't necessarily need to be an actor to do that. I think there's so many ways that I could feed that creativity and feed that love for exploring new modes of thinking and new ways of living without acting. But I hope it doesn't go away, because that's what I want to do.
And years from now, what truth about your acting journey do you hope people truly understand?
I hope that they understand that I gave it my literal all, and that you might on the outside look and, whether I'm successful or not, you might look and judge based off of what movies I did or what projects I was a part of. But that at the end of the day does not showcase how much work behind the scenes I have put into this career. My heart and my soul. I've bared my soul for auditions. I've worked my way up from nothing. I came from Redmond, Washington. I had no connections. I didn't know anybody. I still don't know half the stuff I should know to be here. And I figured it all out by myself. And everything I've built, everything I've done has been by myself and for myself. And so I hope that my legacy and what I like to impart on my friends and family and everyone I come in contact with is just the work ethic of like, give it your all. And no matter what the outcome is, like, at least then you can never question whether or not you did everything that you could. I'll never look back at this career with any regrets, because I'll know that I did everything that I could to be here. And that's a really good feeling at the end of the day. I won't die with any regrets.
Tell me, like, what motivates you? We all have those days that basically we just want to quit. It's inevitable, happens to all of us. So, how you stay positive on one of those days?
Some days it's just the passion and the love for the craft and the need to not fail. I'm just like, I'm not going to let anybody from high school or from my hometown or that manager, anybody win and make me feel like I failed, or know that I failed and be like, ha ha ha. So I think that, like, unfortunately, my perception, other people's perception of me sometimes is the thing that gets me out of bed. But I also just think that my desire to make every day on this planet, like, meaningful in some way. And that does mean the occasional rest day, for sure. But I'm terrible at that. It's usually I lay there and I'm like, I should take a rest day. And instead I'm like, but this day could be the day that your life changes. So you got to get out of bed and do that. And just also the hope that, like, if I book something tomorrow, I want to always be physically and emotionally and mentally ready to do that. So I kind of try to treat every day like I'm already on a show. And how would I want to be acting if I was already where I want to be?
Mentality. I love it. Amazing.
Yeah.
And my last question here. Tell me,
Okay.
what do you think that could be the best title for this episode?
I could say, like, waking up with the mindset that I'm already successful.
Sure.
I like that.
Sounds a good title. I mean, who knows? Maybe we already created the title for your next biopic. Who knows?
I think that Katie's a Badass is a great title for just everything.
You
I've
want that? Katie's a badass?
oh no,
The previous one. Okay.
no, I think the other one was better, but like, I've never been called a badass before, so I hope I'm gonna be bragging about this for quite some time.
Then just do it. You better do it.
I will. I'm gonna
Absolutely.
be like, you heard it here.
Yeah, I
Badass.
expect you to do it, by the way. So
I will.
perfect. Perfect. We have a title. And I mean, at the end of what can I say? The fact you're doing this, that's incredible. That's super cool. We all know that that working on something outside a typical 9 to 5, it's difficult. Sure, it's challenging. Sure, but you're making it happen. And what I find the most beautiful thing about the journey is that you're not also. I mean, you're not just creating stuff, right? You're not just creating characters, stories. You're showing us that dreams are possible. And that type of positivity is something we desperately need right now in this crazy world. The fact that we can believe that there's hope to it, that there is something positive out of it. And you just take a second to look at your work and to see your passion to it and your drive to it, to be like, hey, if she's doing it, I can do it too. And I wish that people could have like your type of mindset, because for sure we would be in a much better and happier place. So
Yeah, I mean, adapt positive mindset for 2026, and we would all be very, very happy. But thank you so much. That means a lot to me. I try. I mean, there are days that I fail at it, but most days I keep with the positivity.
I mean, we're human. We all
We're
have those
human.
moments. That's understandable. You can't be all happy and bubbly. And at the same time, we need those days sometimes so we can actually enjoy the good days, right? We need those sad, crappy days every now and then in order to really make use of when we have happy days. If we have all the time happy, greater days, let's face it, at some point we will be taking them as granted as well, and we will be enjoying them as much as we should have. You know what I mean? So as much as it's kind of bad, at the same time, it's kind of a necessary evil sometimes. You know what I mean? So
yeah. No, I everybody in my life is always saying that. They're like, Katie, the rest days are good. Days where you don't do anything are good. And I try my best not to feel guilty about them. But we do need to take more and not see it as like a bad thing.
Totally. So, Katie, again, I want to thank you so much for making this happen. I want to thank you also those who stayed the whole episode. Let us know what you think in the comments below. But by this point, I mean, do I have to repeat it? I mean, we already discovered why Katie's super badass. So let's share some love. Let's make her viral. # Team Katie. And again, thank you for making this happen. Keep shining out there. Keep rocking. Keep kicking ass. And I'll definitely be seeing you in the next one.
Thank you so much, Daniel.
All right.